Hey, what's up everybody? It's Coach Matt Ellis over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. We've got some video questions to catch up on, and what I've done here is sort of gone through my emails, gone through the YouTube comments and questions that people have been leaving down below, and also looking at some other things too. The athletes that I coach outside one-on-one and in small groups, and also looking at the athletes who I coach online, and also the video analysis that comes into me as well, which you guys can find all that stuff on primalatc.com if you're interested. But one of the most recent things that's been coming up a lot, maybe I'm just noticing it a lot more, has to deal with a question that was sent in regarding the left hand for a right-handed person in the discus. People want to know, what do I do with this left arm? What do I do with my left hand? And it's kind of funny to think of because for a lot of people, we're taught when we throw discus, you taught exactly what your feet should be doing. And you can go through on my channel as well. We always talk about the feet, we talk about the legs, we talk about hips, we talk about position of the arm, 90-degree angle, we talk about release angle, where your head is, we talk about blocking at the end with that blocking side with that left arm for the right-handed throwers. People always ask, they say, what do I do with my left arm? As we proceed, as we go through this entire motion, what the heck is my left arm doing? Well, what I want to do today is address the left arm. And this is what I mean. Now, when you start in the back of the circle, we want to get as big of a stretch, as big of an elastic stretch in the back with our upper body. So if you're a right-handed thrower, now it might look backwards a little bit, but you can picture watching somebody else throw. Back of the circle, we want to get that stretch as far back as we can. Okay? Now, where's my left arm? My left arm is all the way back. If we had, for example, a broomstick that went from inside of my knee up, my shoulder would be on the inside. So see how my shoulder is pointing towards the camera? This is where we want. Now, the left arm, I always like the left arm to stay behind the knee. So at no point do I ever want this left arm to swing in front of the left knee. I always want it inside, left arm between the legs. That's always my goal, is to make sure that my athletes know, whether it's here or a little bit on the inside, I always want the left hand and the left arm to be in between the legs as we throw. Now, why is this? Well, first and foremost, if we open up with the left arm first, you see what starts to happen is the upper body gets a little bit of an unfair advantage over the lower body. So the upper body starts to swing over, the right side, the discus comes through, and the discus starts to come in front of the right hip. We never want that to happen. So keeping the left arm back is a way of kind of cheating to keep that discus back as well. The other thing that starts to happen is if the left arm starts to lead in the back of the circle, it's going to continue to lead and actually exaggerate itself even more as we get toward the end of the throw. So what I mean by that is, if we had a proper throw, whether it's rotational shot or discus, we wind up and get all the way back as far as we can. As we come through, if we keep the left arm in between the legs and don't swing it around first, we end up pushing and leading with the lower body throughout the entire movement. It looks like this. We'll push, we'll come through, and when we land in that power position, that was kind of crappy, but when we land in the power position, the left arm stays back. Because the left arm is back, the shoulders are back. Because the shoulders are back, the center of gravity is over the power leg, and that means we're in a proper power position. Now we can turn our feet first before the left arm swings open. That creates torque. That creates that stretch reflex so that you're coiled up at the end and you have a lot of torque. Now the tendency, if you're in the back of the circle and you lead with that left arm, number one, as we said, you're opening up. The discus will come in front of the right hip, which we don't want to happen. It will spin you around. So instead of being a drive, it turns the circle into more of a pirouette, kind of a spinning, rotational movement instead of a driving, linear, explosive, sprinting type movement. But at the end, you'll be wide open. So we always talk about the block and how important the block is. Well, if you lead with the left, what will happen, when you land in the power position, a lot of times we'll see that left hand pointing out down that right sector. So if this happens, you can see the center of gravity is no longer beyond that power leg. Now the center of gravity has opened up. Instead of having the discus all the way back, now the discus is around 12 o'clock instead of back here at 3 or 4 o'clock. And then as we go to throw, a lot of times this will kind of entice us to throw with our upper body before moving the lower body. So you see a lot of issues, a lot of problems that happen with the full throw with regards to, losing that built-up force, losing that kinetic energy, the upper body getting in front of the lower body, turning it into a spinning, rotational, circular movement instead of a drive, not having a lot of power, not having a lot of pop. A lot of these problems are because this left arm, your non-throwing arm, leads the movement. So in order to cure this, always make sure, keep that left hand, keep that left arm and left shoulder in between your legs as long as you possibly can. And as you get used to it, that will lead to you landing in that proper power position, turning the feet first, then the knee, then the hip, and then pulling that left arm in for the block. Hopefully this helps you out. A lot of my throwers have been having this issue with their non-throwing arm. It starts to get away from them. They focus so much on what their head and shoulders and chest, center of gravity, hips, legs, feet, throwing arm, position of the arm. They focus so much on the other things that the leftover, this left arm, kind of just ends up flying around and messing them up. So hopefully if you're having some issues with your throws, if you're outside practicing like you should be doing right now, getting ready, getting your last throws in with the discus before the cold weather hits and the winter season hits, you might be experiencing some issues too. Make sure it's not that non-throwing arm. Make sure it's not your left arm. If it is, keep it in between the legs. You'll feel more torque. You'll have more power. You'll throw the discus even further. Hopefully this helps you guys out. If there's any other questions, make sure you leave them in the comments section of the YouTube video, or you can shoot me an email, matt@primalatc.com. Again, we have 2 spots open for our online coaching that we do, and the video analysis is open as well. So we're going to leave some links down below. If you're looking for long distance coaching, if you don't have a coach, if you have no idea what's going to happen next season, your school has no coach, and you're right on that cusp of being good, but have no one to help you out, I can help you out. If you're looking for somebody to analyze your videos and give you 1 or 2 tips, just a one-time deal, we've got that available too. So check out the links below. Let me know what you think. Hit me up with any questions. Hope to hear from you soon.